I've got 38 minutes to give you guys what I believe is the number one strategy that's allowed our organization to produce 261,000 active members all over the world, produce 31 IMDs, over 100 RMDs, almost 400 marketing directors. If you want to learn the strategy, say I do. All right, before I go through the strategy, I will tell you with every fiber in my being, I never imagined in a million years I would be addressing 12,000 people in a stadium. This is, God works wonders. I'll tell you, growing up, I was definitely not the sharpest tool in the shed. I was the kid who finished in the half of the class that made the top half possible. I spent a lot of time in the principal's office. I went to college right after the U.S. Marine Corps. And I don't know this. I know there's some Marines in the house, and you Marines, you will know this. If you've ever dated a Marine, you'll know this even more. But when you come out of Marine Corps boot camp, you develop this level of confidence that you can literally do anything. So I came out of boot camp thinking I could run through brick walls, jump over buildings, do anything. So despite my less than illustrious career in high school, I went to college and decided to be pre-med. First semester, failed chemistry, D in biology, realized maybe I wasn't cut out for medicine. So I went over to the economic school, had to take calculus, the most basic class, and failed it miserably, like not even close. Took the exact same class the next semester, same textbook, same lesson plan, same everything, and I still didn't pass. And so, I dropped out of college before I failed out. I had basically two options, either be an underwear model or an entrepreneur. And so, what are you laughing at? So, got introduced to network marketing. I was working as a waiter, making a minimum wage. A young, waitress comes up to me, and she's, asking me questions, building a rapport. And, she asked me if I ever thought about being in business for myself. And she was pretty cute. So I said, yeah, all the time. She said, well, why don't you write your number down? We'll talk business sometime. And she's pretty cute. Talking business sounded pretty good, so I gave her my number, and she called me a couple days later and said, hey, why don't you come out to the Hilton Hotel on Tuesday night? We'll talk business. I said, all right, hotel night, business, I'm in. Unfortunately, there was a room full of people like you there, and I got introduced to network marketing. And, after 2 years in network marketing, I had one person in my group. It was me. After 5 years in network marketing, I still had not gotten to a full-time income. In fact, I had almost every single month over those 5 years, I had spent more money than I actually made. Some of you can relate to that. And I'll tell you, the number one question people have asked me over the years, because the last 15 plus years of my life have been such a dream, being able to be full-time, earning 6-7 figures in income and so forth. And so the question I get all the time is, what's the number one thing that caused you to have success? And I've always said there's no one thing. It's a combination. You got to develop your confidence. You got to develop your skill set, your communication ability, all of these different things. So there's no one. But as I was preparing what I wanted to talk to you guys about, there is one strategy that if I had to say there was one thing that allowed me to go from struggling year after year after year, being frustrated and pissed off and angry at myself, to, all of a sudden having huge success, it's this. It is the magic of a blitz. Taking a window of your life, 30 to 90 days of your life, and saying, you know what? I'm just going to get laser focused. I'm going to go all in. And what I had done, it was kind of like a plane taking off. You got a plane on a runway. Some of you are pilots. Do you put the throttle at 20%? Will the plane take off at 20% throttle? Will the plane take off at 50% throttle? No, you got to go full throttle. You got to go all the way if you want the plane to take off. And I had just stayed on the runway year after year after year. And there's a a law in network marketing called the law of compressed activity. And it says the effort that you put in a compressed amount of time is going to pay you way more money long term than the same amount of effort put in over an extended period of time. So if you're going to put 20 people in the business quick, that's going to make you a lot more money than putting, say, 20 people in 20 months. If you did one a month, you kind of stay on the runway. Now, I'm not saying you can't get there. You can't take off eventually. You can't have success doing slow and steady. That works. But what has worked for me every time I've done it is going all in. It's going full throttle. Okay, and what I'm talking about here, I'm not just talking about getting excited for a week and, all right, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to get excited. But you're really, you're working at 60, 70%. I'm talking about 100% all in for a period of your life. Not forever, for a season. Okay? And I'm going to go through the game plan of what I've done over and over and over that's worked every time. And I will tell you, I'm not talking to everyone in the room. I'm really only talking to a very small few of you who will actually do this. And I tell you, those who decide to do this, you have a chance of filling up sections of our future events. You have the opportunity to fill a stadium of your own one day. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons why I'm still building, Mark said I'm still building this aggressively, I am. I've put in 6 new people this month. Okay, I'm still building aggressively because I know there are not stadiums big enough to hold World Ventures. We're going to have to break these suckers up into multiple cities. We're going to have to do them all across the nations because there are just not stadiums big enough for us. Okay? So this is not for everyone. We're a travel company, but this is not for the tourist. Okay? This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for those of you who are afraid to lose some sleep. Okay? This is about all-out massive action. Now, the first time I ever did this, it was actually when I met Wayne Nugent. And Wayne told me, he said, you know what? If you'll put in 30 people fast, that'll turn into thousands. Now, I'm not guaranteeing you that 30 is going to turn into thousands. That's just what Wayne told me, and I was crazy enough to believe him. I just decided, you know what? I'm going to be coachable. For once in my life, someone tells me to do something. He's got what I want. I'm going to go after it. Okay? So I'll just tell you what I did. It was back in June of 2001. And I was at a point in my life where I was so sick and tired of being average. Because my entire life I had been average. I grew up making average or below average grades. I was an average athlete. Average number of friends, not Mr. Popular. Everything about me had been average. In fact, I looked at my situation. I was 24 years old. And I was actually a little bit below average. And that was a tough pill to swallow. And I said, you know what? I want to show the world what's inside me. I had something burning inside my gut. My heart was just aching to not be average. And so I finally made the decision. And I will tell you that you going IMD, you are one decision away from going IMD. If you look at the root word of decide, you get side, suicide, pesticide, genocide. It means to kill off. So finally, for once in my life, I said, I'm going to kill off any possibility that my life will be average. That's done. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to put my head down and run as hard as I possibly can. And if you're wondering, maybe I need a lot of credibility. Maybe I need to have the posture like Carlos Rogers. Maybe I need to, be like a Kerry Schneider. Maybe I got to have the swagger of Byron Schrog. Maybe I got to be able to talk like Johnny Wimbrey. At the time, I was living at home with my mommy. I was working as a waiter at a steakhouse restaurant. I was $30,000 in debt. I was driving a beat-up truck. There was nothing about me that you would look at and go, man, I want to follow that guy. So here's what I did. I decided I was going to eliminate all distractions. The TV would not ever make me any money. I unplugged my TV. I put it in the closet. Okay? I said, I'll pull it out when I make 6 figures. I put goal cards. I had, the goals that I want, I put them everywhere. In fact, I had goal cards that said I want to, I'm earning $10,000 a week. Man, I had them all over the place. In fact, my wife, she's, nodding because when I moved into my own apartment, I still had the goal cards all over. So I married her. But I had to have my goal in front of me. And I made a list of 300 names. And I'll tell you what I had done previous to this. I would only show my business to people that I thought had a pretty good chance that they would enroll. I thought they'd enroll, so I'd show them. But if I thought they wouldn't enroll, no, I wasn't going to show them. I didn't want to get rejected. And I had all these people on my chicken list. And I finally said, you know what? I've got to step up. I got to get rid of the chicken list. I just got to put everyone down, and I just have to call them all. I just have to show them all. And I did about 3 to 5 presentations personally every day. Now, sometimes I'm doing a lot more than that with people in my group. And it was just working 8 to faint, 6 to 7 days a week, 14 to 16 hours a day. And some of you are going, man, that'd be hard. It is hard. Success isn't easy. Freedom isn't free. But it's worth it. For the last 15 plus years of my life, I've never had a boss telling me what to do. Have not had to fight traffic to and from work. Have not had to ask anyone if I could go on a vacation. Have been able to live over 65 countries around the world. I mean, it has just been an incredible life. So the question is, was it worth it? Yes. And I'll tell you, just over the last few years, I'm going to show you some pictures here. Okay, I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. So I went out to South Africa, did the highest bridge bungee jump in the world. Went cage diving with the great white sharks. And I'll tell you, that's where you find yourself. You go eye to eye with a great white. Pretty intense. Hiking in the Andes Mountains in South America. My mom's 60th birthday, was able to say, Mom, anywhere in the world that you want to go, where do you want to go? Mom said, oh, we could go to New York. I said, Mom, we're not going to New York. Where's your dream? Where have you always wanted to go? She said, well, I mean, my dream's always been Peru. And she said it kind of like, well, you wouldn't really take me there, would you? I said, done, we're going, just me and you. So I took her 9 days, just me and her, stayed in the most expensive hotels and resorts we could find. You see pictures on the top right there? My mom whitewater rafting with me. Look at the smile on her face. Machu Picchu, there's Mom climbing mountains with me. Stayed at the Sanctuary Lodge, $1,000 a night, only hotel overlooking Machu Picchu. You wake up in the morning and you see the clouds rolling across the mountains. I mean, it was an incredible, incredible experience. And of course, she now thinks I'm the best son in the world. Of course, travel dollars paid for it all. How about making an impact in the lives of other people? This is actually taken in Athens, Greece, 4,200 people, filled in an Olympic stadium. How many of you would like to be up here? How many of you would like to see your family on Voyager magazine? Dream vacations for Rhonda's 40th birthday. We rented out an 18,000 square foot villa on the beach, infinity pool, 4-story, staff of 8 people waiting on us hand and foot. I mean, all day long, it's like we want food at 2 a.m. We just go to the kitchen and they make it for us. We're hanging out at the pool. They don't even ask. They just bring you another margarita. They just bring you, chips and salsa and guacamole. I mean, we left. We were there for 5 days. We left twice to go do something, and we regretted it both times. It was just so amazing. And here's what's probably most special to me. Is just being able to tip the first domino. And, these are some friends of mine who I didn't really work with on a daily basis. I have very little to do with their success in World Ventures. Okay? The guy on the left, you're going to hear from him this weekend, Michael Jex. Flew into New York to do a Super Saturday, and he's unemployed, living at home with his mom, trying to figure this thing out. Got Sharon Cousins in South Africa, where the average income is less than $500 a month. Single mother who, when she got going in World Ventures, was living out of her car. She was homeless. Now she's a regional marketing director. She's traveling all around the world with this. Wendy Castillo. One of the highlights of my career in World Ventures, I was standing right down there on the front row watching her get this award for RMD. And she didn't come from, never done network marketing before, never done business, nothing like that. Young, 19 years old, but hungry, willing to plug into our system and go to work. And because she did, she lives an incredible life. And as she stood up here with tears streaming down her face saying, I didn't know something like this was available for someone like me, I promise you I was crying harder than she was. And here's the deal. I have very little to do with her success, but I tipped a domino. I enrolled one person, who enrolled another, who enrolled another, who enrolled another, who enrolled another, who enrolled Wendy. So here's the thing. You never know what domino you're going to tip that's going to lead to someone else living an extraordinary life. You don't know my prayer before I got on stage? I want to say something that touches your heart so that your life is different, so that your children's life is different, and generations to come, your children's children live a very different life because you made a commitment to going all in. Now, some of my buddies would climb Mount Kilimanjaro last year. Incredible experience, been on my bucket list forever. And this was one of the greatest illustrations in my life of what winning is all about. You see, we started climbing this mountain, and there was the day before, we were at our camp, and there's these German athletes. They're all university athletes, young guys. They're all, 20, 21 years old, and they're going to climb the mountain the day before us. And, so we end up climbing the mountain. Now, none of us are super athletes. We're not pro athletes. Well, except for Dave Uloa and his six-pack abs. You might call Dave that. But the rest of us, we're not, superstar athletes. And the route we took, 60%, only 60% make it to the very top of the mountain. Now, guess how many we had make it to the top? 100%. 14 men, 100% made it to the top. The German university athletes, the young guys, several dropped out. They had about 60, 70% made it. We found out after we finished the climb. So what was the difference? Was it athletic ability? Was it talent? I'll tell you the difference. We had a will to win that was much greater than they had. We wanted it more. And those of you who are going to make it work big here, it's because you want it more. You got to want it more than the person sitting next to you. Troy Brown, one of the biggest inspirations of my life in business, and I'll tell you why he's one of the greatest inspirations in business. He's also one of my greatest inspirations personally because I saw him get a level of altitude sickness where I thought there is no way in the world he's going to make it. He's just too sick. Literally throwing up. I mean, hours before we got to the top, he's throwing up. He can barely walk. His head's splitting. And when we were up at the top taking pictures, we've been up there a while, doing our flags and all this, and guess who comes strolling along, taking one step after another? Mr. Troy Brown. You want to know why he wins big in World Ventures? Because even when it hurts, he knows he can just take one more step. One more step. And if you just take one more step after one more step, you are going to make it to the top. So, here's the question. How committed are you to achieving your dreams? And I'll just tell you my attitude. I know there's a lot of people who are way more talented than I am. I'm not the best speaker. I'm not the best trainer. I'm not the best inviter, presenter, enroller, closer. Getting new people. I'm not the best at any of that. But I just have a philosophy that says, you know what? If you do what's easy, life's going to be hard. If you do what's hard, life's going to be easy. I'm willing to do what's hard for a short time so that I can live an easy, incredible life. I just say, you know what? I may not be the best, but I can outwork the rest. Okay, so you going all in, it's about having a desperate, obsessive focus for your dreams, for your goals. And you got to decide for yourself that it's worth it to have that. And I'll tell you, there are so many people out there who are just happy. They're okay with living a life of mediocrity. It's like they wallow in this cesspool your goals. And you got to decide for yourself that it's worth it to have that. And I'll tell you, there are so many people out there who are just happy. They're okay with living a life of mediocrity. It's like they wallow in this cesspool of mediocrity. They never achieve anything in their life because they're just too lazy to go after it. So here's my attitude, and I don't mean to offend you, but I'll talk to the men in the audience. If you are more concerned with watching TV than creating success for your life and your family's life, if you're more concerned with drinking beer or playing Xbox, if you're too lazy to go out and work, if those things are more important than your future, I will not call you a loser, but you are definitely not a winner. See, someone told me something like that years ago, and I said, you know what? I don't like what he said, but he's right. He's right. I've got to decide that I will never, never accept mediocrity in my life. I am willing to go for it and go for it hard so that I can live my dreams. And so if you do this right, I'm telling you, it's not for everyone. If you do this right, you will work harder than you've ever worked in your life. You've got to take a period of your life and work like your life depends on it. Because in my opinion, it does. So here's what the game plan looks like. Okay, number one, negotiate with your family. When I did this the first time, I was single. I didn't have to negotiate with anyone. I just cleared my calendar and went after it. Coming into World Ventures, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I knew I needed to take about 90 days of my life and just eliminate every distraction so that I could do whatever I wanted for the rest of my life. And so I told Rhonda, I said, here's the deal. I got to take a season. And what that means is no date nights. For the next 90 days, no date nights. When family comes over to dinner, I'm either not going to be home or I'm going to be in my office making calls. It means I'm not going to go to sporting events. I'm not going to I'm just, all I'm doing for this period of time is I'm going to work and sleep, all in for a season. Now, obviously, it worked out. So you need to negotiate with your family. You need to let them know what you're up to. You got to clear your calendar out. If you're working a full-time job, you work 8 hours for someone else, and then you work 8 hours for yourself. That's 16 hours a day. That's a lot of work. That's hard, right? Didn't say it was going to be easy. Said it was going to be worth it. Okay, if you're full-time, you're nonstop. 8 to faint. You want to set some goals. And I threw out the number here, 20 personals. Why did I throw the number 20 personals? Because every time I've gone through a blitz, I've done around 20 personals. And those 20 have led to a big team. And I started calling. A bunch of you guys got texts from me, didn't you? Hey, how many personals did you put in a 30-day time frame? Jeff and Troy, 27. Okay, and I asked them, I said, well, have you done that more than once? They said they put in 15 to 20 personals in a 30-day time frame. They've done that multiple times. It's a clue, right? Triple IMD. Byron, 30 personals, 30 days. Johnny Wimbrey, $1 million earner, 15 to 20 personals. David Peach, 46 personals in 30 days. Peach, you're a freak of nature. I've never done that. Wes Melcher, earned well over $1 million in World Ventures, 15 personals. So it's always, 15, 30 is around 20. Now, am I saying you got to put in 20? No, you could go a little less than 20, but set a goal of doing 20 in the next 30 days, okay? So here's what the numbers would look like. Assuming you close, you show 10 people and 2 get started, a 20% closing ratio. It's pretty simple. Here's the numbers. To get 20 enrolled, you got to show 100. And you got to get 80 people to tell you no. The biggest reason why you won't get the 20 is because you're afraid of the 80. You got to realize you're going to have to get rejected. You're going to have to get the no's. There's no way around it. It's not like, it's success is over here and rejection's over here. You can't get to success without going through the rejection. No, here's you, here's rejection, and the goal line, that's success. This is all rejection. You got to go through a lot of rejection. And if you're willing to just plow through the rejection and not care and keep walking when people tell you no, you get to the goal line. So if you close 3 out of 10, you want to enroll 20, you got to go show 70. You got to get 50 no's. And again, the reason why you don't get the 20 is because people are afraid of the 50. Get excited about the no's. Go for the no's. Make that part of your goal. to go get 70, 80 no's. Get excited about the no's. And here's a secret. Here's a secret to enrolling a lot of people. You want to know the secret? When you stop being afraid of the no's, people start saying yes. Okay, because you're able to go in with confidence, some swagger. You're not needy. They get that you are going somewhere with or without them. Okay? Next thing, track your numbers. I'm going to give you a very sophisticated tracking system, okay? This is pretty deep stuff here. I draw out on a sheet of paper. I put Monday through Sunday, and on the sides I put calls I made, invites I made, exposures I made, how many I enrolled, and how many no's. Why do I put how many no's? I want to celebrate the no's. I want to get excited about the no's. The more no's that I see on my tracking sheet, the more excited I get. Because I know I have to go through the no's to get to the yeses, yes? Okay? So track your numbers. There's a law in marketing that says what you track improves. You're going to do more if you've got it in front of you all the time. So keep it on your desk. Keep it wherever you're going to see it. Just like your goals, keep them where you're going to see them. Okay, next. Commit to revenue-producing activities. Okay, you are calling, you're inviting, you're showing the plan, you're following up. You're spending about 70 to 80% of your time is showing the business. Okay, you're not rearranging files in your office. You're not redoing your list and categorizing your list. No, you make a list and you just start calling and you start showing. RPA, revenue-producing activities. Next, plan a celebration. You ask your family to give you this period of time. Okay, reward them. You know, do a spa trip. Take a dream trip, for God's sakes. And I know some of you are thinking, man, I'd love to do this, but my spouse, they're just not supportive. And I'm going to tell you the biggest reason why your spouse is not supportive is because they're tired of watching you crawl. They want to see you have success. They want you to win. And so you may have to do this is your sales job. It's the negotiation, saying, you know what, I know you're not in it, and I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm just asking you for a window. I'm just asking you for 30 days. I'm just asking you for 90 days. Give me that opportunity to go all in. And if you don't see any results after that 90 days, hey, we'll renegotiate. But I want to prove to myself I can do it. Can I just count on your support for this one window of opportunity? Okay? Next. Coming out of here, what do you got to do? You got to blitz hard. At lunch today, you need to be planning your blitz. Tonight, you need to be planning your blitz. You need to be getting your team together and saying, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to blitz together. And there is so much power when you get a small group of people coming together and you blitz together, the energy that is created in that, the new people, when you're showing them, your enrollment ratio, in my opinion, in my experience, has always gone up. When I'm on fire, when I'm sitting down with someone and I got 5 appointments booked throughout the day, and I'm saying, listen, I need to know if you want to do this because I got 3 more appointments today. I mean, you're all in, and guess what? People follow strength. That's attractive to other people, so show your strength. So you got to come out of here laser focused. You got to have your blinders on. No more distractions. No drama. You know, drama comes around, just say, you know what? I don't do drama. All I'm doing is this. I'm going to work hard. So, here's what's going to happen. You are going to have to be willing to accept a temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. Just how it is. When I got going in network marketing, guess what my friends did? They laughed at me. How's your pyramid thing going? You get rich yet? Made your millions yet? You're going to run through, you're like, all right, I'm going to go blitz. I'm going to blitz hard. I'm showing 500 people. And you go get a no, and you get another no, and you go, oh my gosh, I can't go anymore. I just can't do it. It hurts too bad. And it cripples you. It cripples you because people tell you no. Don't denounce your success because cowards have an opinion. Their opinion does not pay your bills. Their opinion doesn't send your children to private school. Their opinion doesn't buy your dream car. Their opinion doesn't buy your dream goals. I'm going to go after it. Okay? So listen, you are going to have to do today what others won't, to have tomorrow what others don't. Here's the deal. You got to be willing to go all in. Stop tiptoeing around. Go all in. You can do this. I know you have things in the back of your mind, just like I did, that said, oh, Matt, you're too young. You're not smart enough. You're too shy. You're not charismatic enough. You know what that was? It was a lie to justify my own failure. Don't let the lie into yourself. You have got to have the belief that you are going to win, that you are going to do this thing. This is about you deciding right now, who are you going to be? Today, you get to decide, is your life going to be average or is your life going to be great? And if you choose great, guess what? You got to be willing to put in the work. You got to pay the price. There are no shortcuts to this. You know, it takes about 17 days to build a Toyota. It takes 6 months to build a Rolls Royce. Which one do you want? See, everyone wants to be great. Everyone wants to be great. If you want to be great, say, I do. So here's the deal. Very few people are willing to pay the price that it takes. See, greatness doesn't go on sale. You look what happened over the holidays. All these stores, they had sales, didn't they? JCPenney's had a sale. Sears had a sale. Target had a sale. All these stores had sales. Louis Vuitton didn't have a sale. Gucci didn't have a sale. Versace didn't have a sale. Why? Because it costs what it costs. In this business, it costs what it costs. You got to be willing to pay the price. Go pay the price. Let's blitz hard. Love you. Thank you.